Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
So
Yeah, I think go ahead, Kushbu. I thought like
mm,
that pause was for me. Go ahead.
I was just waiting for the recording to start. Okay.
Got it.
So hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Sitecore User Group India. Today we have Kiran Patil with us. He has 70 plus years of experience in the industry and has been awarded the Sitecore Technology MVP title 12 times, and currently he is working as a group technology director at Horizontal. Today, he will be presenting on getting started with XM Cloud, the basics, which is the first session of his 4 session series on XM Cloud. And in today's session, we will dive into the features of XM Cloud and a live demo to see XM Cloud in action. So during the session, if you have any questions, please feel free to post it in the chat window. We will address all your questions at the end of the session. Over to you, KP.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kushbu. Thanks for hosting this. I know how much effort it takes behind the scenes, so thanks for all the efforts. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the session, especially for India folks. You have been busy wrapping up the day and then getting ready for the weekend. So thank you for doing that. And for the US folks, if you have joined, mornings are busy, so thanks for taking your morning. The intent of this session is making sure that you understand the fundamentals of XM Cloud, the basics, because basics are important. And then there is a 4 session series which I am doing in the month of August, just to share whatever I learned so far working on XM Cloud. This is the first session and kicking off with the Sitecore User Group India. And then the second section is with the Hyderabad user group, which is mainly on the architectural and development process. And then the third session will be on personalization, analytics, and forms. And then the last session will be how to deploy on Vercel and Netlify with the user group, Kerala user group. So that's the intent. As I mentioned, today's session, there might be a few things you might already know, but the uh, end audience for me today is just to set the goal that make sure that we are on the same page. There is no confusion about why XM Cloud, why not XM Cloud. And main target audience is the basic people like who don't know XM Cloud. They are just seeing this session first time. So making sure that they understand the fundamentals. So when you attend the next sessions, you have the basis, all the bases covered. Kushbu has done a good job at introducing myself, so I'll not spend much time, but mainly I work from the Horizontals Minneapolis office. So it's early morning for us here at Minneapolis, and I work as a group technology director, and I've been working with Horizontal for roughly 11 years now. So let's talk about XM Cloud. What is XM Cloud? Before we talk about XM Cloud, uh, I'd like to talk about the composable architecture because that's a kind of a core framework based on which XM Cloud and the future technologies are getting involved. And I've thought this metaphor of Bombay sandwich versus Subway is the best one to explain the composable philosophy because when you order a Bombay sandwich, it is straightforward. You order and then you will have a fixed sauce, fixed cucumber, fixed tomatoes. You cannot modify. So it's easy to order and easy to eat. But if you want more freedom and more customization, where you don't like tomatoes, so you might just want less tomatoes, more cucumber. All those customizations cannot be done with a Bombay sandwich, but you can do that with a Subway, where you pick your sauce, you pick your veggies, and then you make your own Subway. So that's and if you connect that whole process with composable, the Bombay sandwich is your monolithic platform where you have your XP instance of Sitecore, where analytics and everything is built in. Even though you don't need it, you still have to have it, you like it or not, because you're going with the monolithic platform. And the right side is your composable architecture where you pick and choose, and then you make your own sandwich, or in this example, your own platform. And especially where each technology company is trying to provide the best solution. Uh, the composable architecture gives more freedom to the customer where they can pick and choose and create the best platform for their needs. So this is how the composable DXP architecture looks. On the left side is the PaaS platform, which is again the XP XM is still there. It is going to be there, which is known as platform DXP. And on the right side is composable DXP, where you all these hexagons basically represents one product, and you no need to buy all the products. You can use the product which you need. So, and Sitecore has divided all those things into multiple clouds. They call it content cloud, engagement cloud, or commerce cloud. Basically, content cloud caters all the content needs like content hub, XM cloud, and the engagement cloud talks about all the products which increases the engagement of user. Sitecore personalize, Sitecore send, and then commerce is all about commerce like Sitecore order cloud and Sitecore discover. And then the base platform provides all the base features like SSO, identity resolution, and all those. So what is the benefit of composable? The first and foremost benefit is agility and speed to market. In this fast moving world, we want faster speed to market, and this fully SaaS based platform provides that. How? We will see in the upcoming slides. Apart from that, it provides you freedom and flexibility because when you go with Sitecore XP, as I mentioned, a lot of things are pre-built like analytics personalization, but you either don't like it or you don't know how to use it, or at times it doesn't work. So this platform provides the composable architecture provides you freedom where you can leverage your own system, which you would like to use. And creativity and innovation. This whole composable architecture works on like headless principles, where you have your front end being done in either Nexus, Vue, or React. So all those benefits you get, and then you get the resources as well. Who doesn't need to know Sitecore, you just need to know front end, so you can. There are no kind of challenges with that, and the cost effectiveness. Basically, when you buy the whole bundle, you have to pay the price for the whole bundle. But even though you don't use it, but with the composable architecture, you just pay for what you need and then keep adding it as you evolve your platform. So why XM Cloud? So this is the slide from Sitecore where there are multiple benefits explained. I'll not go through each of those, but you can see there are operational cost savings. The biggest thing is you don't need to do any future upgrades. And as a company point of view, every 2 years, 3 years, you have to spend your dollars for upgrade, and that is taking your dollars away from building the feature and then providing a best experience to your customers. That's the biggest hindrance. The second thing is your environment, like infrastructure. You need DevOps folks, you need to manage your environments, you need to patch it and all those things, and you need a team for that. But now with the SaaS platform, you don't need to do that. You just Sitecore will take care of you. Revenue growth, your website conversions are increased because the platform is providing a lot of capabilities like personalization, faster speed because of the headless architecture, and then increase speed to market. If you have to launch any campaign, it is just matter of hours rather than days or weeks at times. Risk avoidance, as it is hosted on SaaS and cloud, you don't need to worry about platform going down. And the productivity improvement, the marketers get a lot of new tools and features, which reduces their uh, time to create a new functionality or pages. So what is XM Cloud? I think we by this time point of time we are clear with why XM Cloud, but what is XM Cloud? So XM Cloud is a SaaS platform. It's also known as hybrid CMS, uh, where you can create, manage, and deliver relevant content everywhere. It's lightning fast, and if you have used Experience Editor, if you have seen XM Cloud pages, you can understand the difference. It is super fast compared to the Experience Editor in the past days. It provides uh, lightning fast performance for authors as well as the end users because it uses the headless architecture, and that provides a better performance. And you can easily scale because the way Vercel Netlify works, they can easily scale compared to the old content delivery servers. And then your XM environment is automatically scaled and make sure that it is working efficiently for your authors. It is also simple for marketers. They can easily go and create contents thanks to the new Sitecore pages. It provides that easy experience for the marketers, and then agility for developers. Developers can get their work started. They don't need to wait for weeks to create their basic dev environment or QA environment. They can log into the portal and create those. And then security, all the content is secure and it is protected behind the APIs and OAuth and HTTPS, which is the uh, industry proven technology. So now let's talk about the XM Cloud architecture. So let's start from the left side. The out of the box, when you provision your XM Cloud instance, XM Cloud has the editing host, Sitecore Cloud, and Edge, an XM Cloud instance, automatically or by default provision. You as a developer will be working with your uh, source code provider, either GitHub or Azure DevOps, both are supported, and you will be committing your code. XM Cloud provides a build and deployment services, which you can use using Portal, or you can also use using CLI, and then you can deploy your code, which gets deployed in XM Cloud, which is your CM instance, and then it has a lot of editors like Pages and uh, various editors, and then when you publish, it goes to Edge, which is kind of an think of it as CDN for your published content, and it automatically scales. And then for the front end experience, which is basically for the end users, you have your static site hosting, which can be Vercel, Netlify, or you can use other like Amplify, which is AWS offering, and then you can basically fetch the content using GraphQL. So we'll see that in the upcoming sessions, but that's the whole overall architecture. And if you have any questions, you can interrupt me or you can also write those in chat and we can discuss those in the end. Okay, so how does this work? So you can see that this UI is basically your XM, the CM instance, where you author the content and as a developer, you deploy your templates and everything. Then you modify your content. It provides a multi-site and multilingual capabilities by default. And when you publish the content, it goes to Experience Edge. And then from there, uh, your app, which is either a desktop app or a mobile app, it can fetch the content via API using GraphQL, and then you have the website up and running. The benefit of using Experience Edge is your single content which has been published can be consumed by all the multi channels, and once you modify the content and publish it, it will be visible everywhere. Now there are some things you need to understand about XM Cloud. If you have already explored XM Cloud, you know by this time, but I assume you are first time seeing or hearing about XM Cloud. So when you provision or get an XM Cloud instance, which basically you have to reach out to your Sitecore account representative, they will provision a subscription for you. One subscription can have one or many projects, and then each project can have one or I think four environments like dev, QA, prod, and then one environment can have a number of websites, right? So this is how you set up. Mainly, you will like mostly you will have one project, and then on one project you have environments, and then you have your sites created under it. And then XM Cloud can be hosted at Australia, East US, Japan, West U, and West US. So when you reach out to your Sitecore rep, you have to just let them know which region you are interested. So they'll make sure that they host or provision your subscription under that region. So now, if you are a developer and thinking, okay, how can I get ready for XM Cloud and what all should I know? I believe this diagram represents it. You need to know SXA, which is again a different flavor of SXA, not the MVC SXA, but the headless SXA. Uh, the fundamentals are same, just the rendering engine is a little bit different. The JSS, containers, headless, edge, and Sitecore serialize. These are the tools you need to know to become an XM Cloud expert. And then under the edge, the GraphQL, you need to know about it because that's the backbone of a lot of things which you are going to use. You're not going to create your controllers or controller renderings. You are mostly going to create JSON renderings and then use the GraphQL to query your content. So which are the exclusive features of XM Cloud? The biggest thing, as we discussed earlier, is automatic updates. You don't need to do any complex upgrades in the future. Sitecore portal and unified identity. Sitecore portal also provides SSO support. If you have your SSO like Okta or Azure, you can plug in that. Sitecore pages, which is a new kind of an experience editor. Sitecore dashboard, Explorer, and XM Cloud Forms recently got added. We'll see all those things in the coming slides and also see a live demo. What are the limitations of XM Cloud? There are a lot of limitations of XM Cloud, but I feel like that's an not limitation, that's an architectural difference. And in the new architecture where we are moving from a monolithic to a composable, all those things are moved to either removed or moved to a different product. So you can look at these features like XP, XConnect, XDB, all those things are gone, and you will be mainly leveraging XM Cloud embedded personalization, which behind the scenes uses the box saver, which is also Sitecore CDP or personalize. A lot of marketing automations like email and all those things are gone, and that's something will be used leveraged by Sitecore Send. And then SXA with MVC is gone. You will be using SXA with headless. Sitecore forms are gone, but you'll be using XM Cloud Forms. And then you cannot have a custom search indexes, but you can leverage the other functionality to mitigate those. And you don't need identity server because it supports SSO. So all those limitations are not more a limitation, but when you are architecturing the solution, make sure that you remember this because like if you are trying to refer to a web database, you cannot refer to a web database because it is all abstracted to you and you have to use leverage the API. So let's talk about the each feature in detail. So the first thing is cloud portal. The Sitecore in XM Cloud, they came up with a cloud portal where you see when you log in, right, you see all your instances. So here you can see all the instances which you have access. And then if you'd like to create a support ticket, you can click on here and you can create a support ticket. So all those things are there. And whatever you see here, it is based on your role. So if you don't have access, you won't see it here. And then when you access any of these apps, it will do automatic SSO to you. So you don't need to remember all the passwords like for different apps. For example, once you log into XM Cloud and if you have your Sitecore CDP personalized search, just click on these icons and it will automatically log you in. You need to no need to remember all those different passwords and create a spreadsheet for that and then lose track of it. The next one is Sitecore pages, where this provides a very sleek experience for the authors where they can come here and create pages and look at it at a different breakpoint, and then also drag and drop components, personalize it, analytics, look at the analytics. All those things can be done here. So it's very powerful today. It's very fast as well. The Sitecore dashboard is kind of a single launchpad where you see all your options. And then from here, you can also create a new site, which we'll see in a demo. Sitecore Explorer, this is basically provides kind of an Mac Explorer kind of an view. Personally, I don't use it, but it provides you a view where you can explore and look at the content tree in a different Explorer format. XM Cloud Components. So this is a new ground breaking feature Sitecore added. Basically, XM Cloud Components is a low code, no code architecture where you can create a pixel perfect components, uh, and then you can use that not only on your XM Cloud instance, but you can also use that in your other systems. So you basically build your component once and then leverage it everywhere because it provides you embed code. And then you can connect this XM Cloud components can connect to any data source. So for example, in your organization, you have some content being leveraged or added by Content Hub 1. You can connect it from here. Let's say if you have your content in Contentful, like one of the department is using Contentful and you would like to plug that content here, you can do that. And then this whole things works behind the scenes on the headless principles and then uses Experience Edge behind the scenes. And then you can also leverage the personalization because it provides those components. The another feature it provides is XM Cloud personalization. So this is out of the box. You don't need to pay anything. Behind the scenes, it uses Sitecore personalize, kind of a lighter version of it, which gets provisioned when you provision your environment. So you can come to the Sitecore pages and you can personalize the component and pages from here. There are 20 pre-built audience templates and it provides you a lot of control. In this example, let's say if the user is from Norway, show a different personalized experience to those users, you can do that. If someone is coming from, let's say, the UTM parameter, the UTM source, you can also change it. So there are a lot of variations there. You can use those. It might be more than 20 now because Sitecore is keep editing and modifying and launching new features. And that's another beauty of SaaS platform. You don't need to deploy anything. Sitecore, as soon as they release the feature, it is available. And the other benefit is like when you create your page variants, that's what they call it. You can also look at the engagement, like which page variant is giving you engagement, like more traffic. So you can design your future campaigns accordingly. The other thing it provides is XM Cloud Analytics. Basically, this also leverages Sitecore CDP behind the scenes, lighter version of it, where you can look at the analytics of your pages. So you can look at this like when you are on the page, you can look at the page insights. It shows you page insights like how many visitors came up, how many visitors stopped. And then if it has multiple variants, which is personalization, you can also look at it from that angle. And then if you'd like to look at the site insights, you can look at it. We'll see a live demo, but this is a very nice feature where you can measure your uh, page's performance and then change your strategy accordingly. Moving to the next one, which is XM Cloud Deploy. This is mainly for the development team and ops team. You no need to wait for multiple weeks for your dev environment, QA environment. You can log into your portal and create the environment. If you remember those safe scripts, where you need to set up the environment. It was super painful. Here, everything is just click of it, and then you have your environments ready. And then same for deployments. You don't need to deal with Azure DevOps or other CI/CD pipelines or tools. It's all built in to your portal. And then you get the full front-end flexibility. You can use Next.js for front-end. You can use React. You can use Angular, Vue, based on your expertise and the team's skill set. And then .NET Core is support is there. It is not super super good at this point of time, but Sitecore has promised that they are going to invest, and in the upcoming days, and mostly at symposium, you'll see some announcement about .NET Core. Sitecore is going to invest heavily on that, and especially the folks who are coming from .NET background, they must be kind of seeing that learning curve next days. But .NET Core will provide some kind of an benefit when it comes back. Again, there are few features which is Next.js specific, like static site generation. All those things will not be there, but it's a good option to have. And then on the edge hosting, you can do Vercel, Netlify, Cloudflare, Heroku, or you can also have your custom hosting. XM Cloud provides the powerful tools for DevOps. As I mentioned in the past, it was painful to wait for the environments to be ready, but now you can log into your portal or even through CLI, you can create your environments and they'll be instantly ready. So it helps you make sure that you are ready for your next launch or campaign without waiting for a lot of backend things to happen. And then you can start a new project in minutes because Sitecore provides the starter kits, and Sitecore Seal is going to also simplify the starter kit in the future. But starter kits help you get started easily. So when you set up your environment using start the initial default template, you get a starter solution and you start building, and then it has all the things what you need. And then you can integrate with any MarTech stack because the XM Cloud is a SaaS platform, provides a lot of flexibility, but at the same time, it has some governance rules. Like whatever you could do in the past, you cannot do that same things in XM Cloud world. And the solution for that is API. And that's the kind of composable architecture's principle where you need to have APIs for everything. And Sitecore has done that where you have API for everything. The one example is, let's say when your publishing happens, you can basically have a webhook call, and then webhook will send some data, and your target system where you want to do some integration, you can do that integration and come back. So you don't need to deploy any dependent code on your system and create that heavy system, which is hard to upgrade in the future. So there are a lot of APIs available, and then you can do everything what you do from portal using API. And then the base of it is GraphQL. So knowing GraphQL will be important for being an expert in XM Cloud. So how can you plan your client's journey to XM Cloud? What's the path to XM Cloud? So upgrade path for customers is straightforward, provided the solution which you are migrating is built with the best practices and mostly the Helix principles. Because even though it's XM Cloud, uh, there are few things which are still supported on XM Cloud has not changed. For example, content models, templates, structured content, media and file assets, the roles and permissions. All those things are still same. Nothing has changed. Only like if you are moving to SXA headless, you might need to move few things here and there from the components point of view, but everything else is supported. So you can serialize those items and deploy it on an XM Cloud instance. And then your front end, which is must be done on SXA either uh, or it must be done on MVC. For that, you need to rewrite that using the GraphQL and Next.js or React, and then it needs to be hosted on Vercel or Netlify or other options you have. So how can you help your client to go to XM Cloud? So if the customer is on 10, and then if it has been written on the modern front end like React and others, then use XM Cloud. It's a no-brainer. And this question you ask during the upgrade phase. And if they are upgrading, right, and then yes, that's the right time to ask this question. And then same question, if it is on front end, the front end is modern, then use XM Cloud. Or the customer is rewriting the site. Basically, when a lot of customers do upgrade, what we have seen is they also do some redesign. And when you do redesign, that's the right time to rewrite your components because as such you have to do it. So better you write in the new technology so you can go to the XM Cloud easily. And then if they cannot upgrade, you can also use managed cloud or standard or premium. And then there are few customers who has compliance reason. They still need to be and not ready for XM Cloud. They have to go to either managed cloud or standard or premium, or they can also host on their own Azure instance or AWS instance. But mainly, if the customer is redesigning the website, it's a no-brainer. That's the right time to pull the trigger to make sure that you plan the XM Cloud journey. Now, the other benefit is there are few things you can still do without going on XM Cloud. For example, one of the customer, they wanted to use Sitecore Cerebin personalize, but they wanted to be on their XP instance or XM instance due to some reasons and investment they made. You can still combine those flavors and compose your solution. There is no kind of a strict requirement that, hey, Sitecore Cerebin personalize cannot be used with XP or XM. It can be surely used. and you can leverage that benefit of composability. But if customer is ready, then you go to XM Cloud and then you can connect with all these systems. And then the customers who are ready for SaaS platform, this is how their architecture will look like in the future, where they purchase XM Cloud first, then they see the benefit. They would like to then leverage the Sitecore CDP, Sitecore Personalize, and the other products. Or they can also, let's say if they have Salesforce, they can also connect to Salesforce. Now, enough talk and enough theory. Let's move to a demo. So when you log into the portal, you create a project, you give a name, and we are creating a new environment or new project. So I'm giving a name and I'm continuing on that. I can either leverage GitHub or Azure DevOps. In this example, I'm using GitHub. If your connection is not set up, you can set up from the connect to new account. In this example, I already configured it. So just providing the name of repository, and it is using the XM Cloud template, which is starter kit. And then I'm providing auto deploy and push to repository. So as soon as push is done, I'm deploying automatically, and then I can start deployment. Straightforward. In 5 minutes, my dev environment will be ready. Behind the scenes, what is happening, Sitecore is provisioning the environment. It is cloning the repository starter kit, creating it on your GitHub instance, and then provisioning, building, and deploying the environments, and your environment is ready. So that's how this overall uh, philosophy works. Now let's look at the environment which you have set up. So when you log into your portal, so I have logged into my Sitecore Cloud portal. Uh, as I mentioned, you can see everything for which you have access. So I have access of everything, so I can see all those items. I can invite my team members to contribute with me and work with me. I can create a support ticket from here, right? And then when this is your subscription or org, if you have multiple orgs access, like I have multiple orgs access, so I can switch my org from here. Uh, and then from here, you can go to your specific environment, or you can also go to XM Cloud Deploy, which is another app from where you basically do your deployments or create environments. Like create project disable right now for me. The reason behind that is for the subscription, we only have 5 projects access. That's why I cannot create a project. So in this example or demo, we created this environment. So I'll click on that. This is my dev environment. These are the details of my environment, right? If I would like to create a new environment, I can create from here. I'll not do that. Um, and then this is my deployment. If I have multiple deployments, I can see and then look at the deployment from here. Look at the deployment logs. I have configured one particular site, so you can see the site from here. You can look at the details from here. The logs, you can also access the logs from here. And then if there are variables you need to configure, you can configure from here. And then the developer settings mainly to get started, which we will see in the upcoming session. We'll not go through that. So now we have our environment ready. So it's time to go to dashboard. And then XM Cloud behind the scenes, as I mentioned, is still the XM instance. So if you want to access the XM, the content editor, you can still do that. And that experience is not changed. So in case you are a power user and you have been kind of using Sitecore for a long time, you can still log into your content editor uh, from XM Cloud. But now I would like to show you the dashboard because that's a new feature. So here, this is my dashboard. I can see the sites node. Here I can come and create a new site. So let's say I have this basic site template. So I can select the template or I can create an empty site. And I can also create my own templates for the platform and create a site. So let's say I give a name and then I create a site. it will provision a site. I'll not do that because I have done that already for this particular thing. Before I go here, let's look at the tools. So Sitecore XM Cloud provides multiple tools like pages, components, explorer, experience editor, forms. So and then it also provides the legacy tools support. So let's look at the pages. So this is the kind of a new editor which I was talking, and you can create a page from here, and then you can give name. Once you do that, you can drop the components from here, or you can also go here and then drag and drop the components. And then each component will have data source. So I don't want to do that. I'll just keep it simple, just drop a simple page content. Okay. And then once you do that, you can also do some styling from here, uh, and then also modify the element styling from here. Okay. And then if you have configured the page, your components, like this is your components view, where let's say you need a component created without deploying anything, you can create a component. You can create your styling, the style guides, the data sources, as I mentioned, you can connect to any data source uh, using GraphQL or URL. And then once you have created that component, you can also drag and drop that component. It will be listed here and you can drag and drop component here. And then you can personalize, which you will see in the future session. And then you can look at the analytics for your pages. Once you have more traffic, you will see that. But we'll talk about personalize and analytics in the session 3 in detail. Now, let's go back and go to dashboard. From here, you can go to forms. Basically, XM Cloud Forms provides you a feature where you can design your own form. And then it provides you like the visual editor where you can have your full width form, half and half form, and then you can drag and drop your buttons and then the components and have that output. So we'll not focus on that because there is a separate session for that, but you can do all those things and then you can drag and drop that form on the pages. So page is kind of a composition where you compose your final output, but you access all these other tools to get benefit of it. Okay. And then forms get a data in a different system using a webhook, but we'll talk more about it in the future. Um, so yeah, I think that's what we had. And then once you publish your, so let's say once you create a page, right, you can look at it from different breakpoint from here only, and then you can publish your page either with individual page or with sub pages. You can do that, and then once it is published, uh, you can host it on Vercel. So this is my Vercel instance, and need to move this Teams toolbar so I can click on the tab. So this is my Vercel instance. So my demo A, which is something page I used earlier, has been hosted here, right? And then I also hosted on Netlify. This is my Netlify instance, just to showcase that you can also host on Netlify. So this is same repository hosted on Netlify. How to deploy, how to configure deployment, we'll talk about it. But just wanted to show that this is the end-to-end flow where you set up your environments here, and then you create your pages and you publish, and then it is live on your Vercel or Netlify instance. Now on the deploy portal, you can do a lot of things like you can look at the system status. In case a deployment is failing, just make sure that check here. that everything is fine. If something is not healthy, Sitecore team will update the status here. The other URL to keep in mind is this support.sitecore.com status, where you can see all the Sitecore composable products status and then whether they are healthy or not, right? If they are not healthy, it will change the icon here based on this uh, icons provided here. And then if there is outage, they'll provide some information about it. And then as I mentioned, XM Cloud team keeps rolling the new features. So in case you want to keep yourself updated, use this developers.sitecore.com change log of XM Cloud, where you will see a change log, what feature has been launched on which date, and it has been improvement or it has been bug fixing or what has been happened. So all those information, like for example, on July 19th, they added a new personalized template based on a date. You can do some personalization. So all those things you can keep yourself up to date because it'll be hard for you to keep track of those things, but you can go to this, or if you are RSS user, then you can also subscribe to the RSS feed and then you will have your updates automatically. So that's what I had for demo. I think I'll reserve 15 minutes for questions. So I'll take a pause and see if there are any questions before we move further.
Hey, hi Kiran. This is Yogi.
Hi, hi.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks Kiran first of all for this wonderful session. Actually, I have one doubt. Previously we faced the global outage, okay, for the Microsoft. So what if the same kind of issue will be occurred in the future? So what will be the backup plan Sitecore has introduced? So that is the question actually from the beginning I have.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. I believe like when that CrowdStrike issue happened, right? I don't think the Sitecore sites were impacted. I don't know the architecture because Sitecore has not shared the architecture behind the scenes, but it uses some mechanism where they have planned it already. How? I don't know. That's abstracted. But if you look at it from the architectural point of view, right? Like for example, Vercel, you are leveraging Vercel for hosting your front end. Even your XM Cloud instance is down, right? And if you are using static site SSG effectively, your Vercel instance can keep working without needing any backend to be up because it can still serve those static site generated pages. Obviously, you'll not have the latest content, but as such, the XM Cloud is down. Again, worst case scenario I'm talking. So you are not impacted by that. But long
Right.
story
Yeah.
short, what I understand is Sitecore has planned it. It is obviously same at the same time Vercel and Netlify. They have planned a lot of things. But yeah, those one kind of instances happened. And I don't have a good answer for that. But what I understand high level is
Yeah. Yeah, no.
it is taken care
Yeah,
by
means once they
providers.
shared the architecture,
Mhm.
so I'll request means if it will be great that if you can post on your LinkedIn so
Mhm.
that we came to know. Yeah, in
Sure,
future whenever.
sure,
Yeah,
sure. Yep. But
thank
yeah,
you.
good question. Yeah.
Hey,
Any more
Kiran,
questions?
I have a quick question posted in the chat as well. I'll just repeat it. Is
Mhm.
it possible to do a role or user migration from an existing XP to XMC? Say, for example, like if you have Azure AD role-based access control users, right?
Mhm.
How easy or difficult it is to integrate with the AD users into the XMC because it uses the cloud portal, right? Do they need to be invited list or how easy it is to generally do this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I believe like you can still package your rules because in XP or XM you can package your rules. You can install it here. So basically, let's say your old instance is on XP. You can go to your package designer and package those roles. Install it on your XM Cloud instance. That's the step number two. Step number two, you will invite your user using the invite option because you cannot create your user and it will work. They have to accept that invite. That is kind of a prerequisite. Once they accept the invite, you will see their user in user manager. And then from there, you can assign the role manually. That's the only way I know. I don't think there is an automatic way. Like I know that in the past, the federated login which Sitecore providing, you can have some mapping file, and when they log in, the mapping used to be automatically applied. Here, you have to do that manually, based on my knowledge.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, hi Kiran, Mridul this side. First of all, thank
Hi.
you for the great session. I just have one question. I was just when you're browsing the slides, I've seen the
Mhm.
limitation section where it says a lot of things will be outdated now, like Xconnect, XDB, all those things will be gone. So how easy or hard it will be to migrate from existing Sitecore 9 or 10 to XM Cloud, provided that we are a power user of Sitecore, we do leverage this Xconnect, XDB, we have a huge data. So will it be automatically migrate, or will it involve many manual steps to do?
Sure. Yeah, good question. So if you break it down, right, the content and media migration, that should be straightforward. And we have done that for multiple clients by this point of time. Your components will be semi-straightforward because you have to rewrite your components because you cannot have control rendering. You have to have JSON rendering and then rewrite your front end. The whole personalization, right? You have your rules and all those things. Unfortunately, those cannot be automatically migrated. You have to um, configure those from scratch here. Only one thing I know, there is a tool in case you are a power user and a lot of data. Then, and again, if you are making a lot of business decision out of it, then there is a tool where you can migrate your XConnect data to a CDP instance and then leverage that data. But for that, you need to have a CDP license. You cannot do that on XM Cloud pre-baked CDP analytics or personalization engine. So basically, that's a business decision you have to make. Like, is it worth to get the historical data and on the new system? Then yes, invest on CDP. But if it is not, then start from scratch.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Kiran.
Welcome.
Okay, one more question. If you like to bring in our own composable module, for example, like if you want to bring in our own CDP or Sun system, for example, how what is the pathway for that to integrate with the the head version of the headless? Like, is it easy or is it challenging, or is there any documentation available from Sitecore on those sort of stuff?
Sure. I think it is straightforward. And if you, the Sitecore documentation has option, how can you leverage those products like CDP personalized with XM Cloud. There are a lot of videos as well on the Sitecore's official YouTube channel. So I would recommend you to go through that. Um, and let's say Sitecore personalized, right? You basically leverage the APIs and you fetch the you call the API, you get the personalized output, and you render that. So it is very straightforward based on my exploration.
Yeah. So it can be like, it says composable, but it is composable with the third-party systems as well, right? It should.
Yes, yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Basically, like the bottom line, what I understood is if the third party system is providing you API, then yeah, it
Yeah.
is straightforward.
Yeah. Makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, good question.
Kiran, one more questions actually. So, a lot of users or clients are still on 9. So, instead of what will be the chances in terms of percentage that will they move to from 9 to 10, or directly now they uh, move to 9 to XM Cloud. Again, it is choice, but like, will it be like, means, as this XM Cloud will be a totally different now, because there are a lot of things we need to do from scratch. So what is your thought on this? Like, will they prefer move to 10, or instead of moving on XM Cloud?
I think it depends. But if you ask my personal preference, if they are doing redesigning and they are ready for XM Cloud, even though they are not doing redesigning, but they are ready to do that one-time investment, because if they do upgrade, that's a recurring investment, right? Only thing is like
I
they have
agree.
to invest a little bit extra for the headless rewriting, but that gives them peace of mind in the future. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I would always recommend moving them. And then from the site, whether it's Sitecore 9 or Sitecore 10, if your template structure and the solution structure has been designed with the best practices, moving to XM Cloud
Mm-hmm.
will be straightforward for the content and media and other perspectives. Only component you have to rewrite. So that's something has to
Right.
happen even though after Sitecore 10. And the good benefit of doing that XM Cloud is like Sitecore is going to heavily l- invest in XM Cloud in the future because that's their main
Right.
goal, along with supporting XP and XM for sure. But a lot of things like AI and all of those things are going to come to XM Cloud first and then come to the other platforms in the future. So that's the benefit.
Correct. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, good question. Any more questions? Now I can see the chat. I could not see the chat before that, but I don't see any questions. I think I answered the roles question already.
I, Kiran, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, you tell about the foundation template, which actually Sitecore already provided as a starter kit. But the basic like DLLs, which we do customs and all those things, customs, resolvers, and pipelines and all. So where we can deploy those things in starters template.
Uh, so those things are not recommended by Sitecore because if you start doing those, then it will be hard for Sitecore to upgrade your solution, right? So there are alternatives, like for example, for those pipelines or resolvers, mainly you will be using webhook or middleware, right? And those middleware will be basically a Vercel edge functions. Let's say if you're using Vercel or Netlify has similar feature for that. So now you have to kind of think of an disconnected architecture where you don't have a lot of control on your XM side. And as such, XM side is just doing the content management. Your rendering side, like serving the customer, is being done by your head, which is Vercel or Netlify. And then in the next JS, there are a lot of features, but mainly what we have seen is middleware. But at times there'll be one odd case where you need it. In those situations, you will be using content resolvers to mitigate those. That's what I have came across so far.
Okay. So basically, when like writing on content resolver, also we have to deploy the DLLs.
Yeah,
So
you will be deploying
since the
those on your
architecture
yeah you'll be deploying those uh, on your CM instance, XM Cloud instance.
by manually or the deploying part,
No, it's a
that like
deploy pipeline.
so,
Yeah,
but there
will
say any folder is there where we can update
yeah,
those things.
yes, it is there. Um, I can in session 4, I'm going to show how to do that.
Okay.
So sorry, I'm giving you an answer,
No, no, it's okay. I
which is, but
understand.
yeah, I
No,
think
it's okay. It's
on
fine. Yeah,
session
I
4, I'm going
understand.
to show you how and where. Basically, let me do. I don't think you can wait. I don't want to spoil your weekend where you are thinking about this. So let's do one thing. Let's go to. I'll not show you exactly like because I need to have projects personal 2014 training, right? So when you go to your structure, you will see this platform folder, right? This
Okay.
platform folder basically holds all your C# files. So let's say content
Oh,
resolver will be, and as soon as you commit anything here and do a deployment using portal or CLI, it will deploy that on your XM Cloud instance. And then whatever you are basically doing here, that will be hosted on our editing host and
mm-hmm.
your Vercel. This kind of a front
Mm-hmm.
end.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
front end folder. This is back end folder. And then
Okay.
this is your items folder, basically your serialization items.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
That's the gist of it, yeah. But we can discuss more in session 4.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Even one last question, if you have a minute.
Yeah, we have time.
So, as per the nomenclature of the XMC, right? We know like we have the geolocations where it gets installed as the regions, right? For failovers, how does Sitecore guarantee the failovers? Do we get a chance to decide the secondary regions as well, like the way we used to manage it in the Azure PaaS in the past?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think that they allow, but that's what they are saying. Like they will take care of the failovers, but how? I don't know. But
Mhm.
the main question, I don't think they allow to select to secondary region.
So for clients, I think it will be a question mark, right? Like, so we can say the main
Yeah,
region, but yeah, okay.
yeah. There is a Sitecore. If you reach out to Sitecore, right, once you have, it
Yeah,
is not on public forum, but it is on the private where you can ask the disaster recovery document, and they can provide you that information.
yeah,
And
okay.
same with Vercel, they also have disaster recovery, uh, but they provide you based on your request.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, cool. 23 people attended. So yeah, thank you guys for taking your time on the Friday evening or morning.
Yep.
Any questions, last questions? We are on time, but any last questions? Awesome. Thanks for your time and appreciate your help, Kushbu, to host this session. As I mentioned, the session is done and there are 3 more sessions. And then this user group sessions will be sharing the more information, how to join the session and everything via their page or LinkedIn. So please keep an eye there. And I also be posting on my LinkedIn. But again, thank you so much for your time. Have a great weekend. And then if you are in US, you still have to go through the 8 hours before you start your weekend.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Thank you, KP,
Thank you, Kiran.
and thank you all for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.